m.reck TV.
Yeah, it's m.reck, you know I'm on my New York shit. But it's that motivation when you paper chasing the grip and got the best product out and you killing the strip. I taught the money gymnastics, I'm making it flip. Hit the block hard, yes, early morning on the wake up. Betty Crocker cook skills, help me get my cake up. A nigga gotta hustle cash, get up out the struggle fast. What you know about bus trips with the duffel bags, get the dough quickly.
Live from Bedford-Stuyvesant, the livest one, representing BK to the fullest, the notorious B.I.G. The only Christopher we acknowledge is Wallace. Raw deal.
Chaz got a convoy of people that's ready to do whatever he say to make sure that we safe, get back to the hotel, get back to New York. Paul stops the car, say, yo, Puff said, we don't need all that. Huh? Are you serious? We don't need all that. Big just got killed. You don't know who may run up on us. We don't need all that?
Raw deal. The last big night.
Hey, this is Big G, and I'm back with Raw Deal 2, The Last Big Night, the second installment. I left you guys, me and Big was in the Winnebago, and we were talking about, you know, his relationships. We were talking about situations with his group. You know, Big was just giving me a lot of information, and I was kind of wondering why this kid is talking to me like that, because every time me and Big used to be around with each other, it was basically with Puff, or it was at concert times, or, you know, studio, things like that. When I'm, you know, with Puff going back and forth, we were never like, no, you know, I ain't hang out with them. They were much younger than me. So, you know, this kid was just pouring out his life to me, telling me about, you know, his relationships, situations, you know, like an issue that we had out there in Cali that time. And that was with Charlie Baltimore and him. Whereas that I kind of feel like, in a sense, Big may be still alive today. Had he went to jail that day, we had an incident in a hotel. We was in a 4-star hotel, and me and Puff was at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and Big was staying at the 4-star. And him and Charlie Baltimore had got into it at this particular time, where she had seen some pictures that she didn't like, and you know, she kept it gangster. Went at him, and next thing you know, Big Rolex watch, his Rolex watch and his ring is out the window. We found the watch, but we never found the ring. So next thing you know, the police is coming up there, and you know, the complaint was made, but Charlie ain't say nothing to the police. She kept it gully, you know. But me and Puff was sitting up there talking to the cops while they were sneaking Big out the door from the next room. So I feel kind of bad about that. And I was like, when we was talking about it, I was joking with him and everything like that. So that's when he said, yo, that's my girl, man. That's my Charlie, my girl. You know, I fucks with her. Yeah, I said, what's up with Kim then? He said, no, that's my bitch. You know, Kim is down for, you know, with me, you know, for everything, you know what I'm saying? He was just expressing, you know, how he was going to keep Little Kim and C's and as Junior Mafia and the rest of the guys, if they wasn't ready to work and put in the business part of the shit, that he was going to get a whole new Junior Mafia. He said that himself. He said, they got to work, you know what I'm saying? They got to write and they got to put in what they need to, because this is about business now, you understand? And he was telling me that he could not be mad at Puff, you understand, because of Puff showed him how to get money, you understand? He said that first contract I had was bullshit, and the people that was working for me at that given time, they really didn't know what they were doing, so that's how I ended up having to selling my marketing and my publishing. So then we went through that, you know, you know, he told me what that was in the whole 9 yards. So now, in the back of my mind, you know, I'm saying I'm having a dilemma about, talking to Big, because I know prior to this whole situation, while we in the Winnebago, he was telling me, how things is going to be different. He was, praising Puff and everything like that. But I heard Puff, like, wish death on this kid. I didn't think none of it at the time, but because I just thought Puff was mad and what he said out of his mouth. So, this was way back at the first Soul Train Awards thing that we had went to. When Big and Tupac was alive at this time. Tupac and Big got at it at the Soul Train Award when Pac had came out. And, with Suge Knight and everybody like that. And, I wasn't out there, but this is the part that I'm telling you, I heard. Me and Puff was inside the venue at the time. But my man, Bun, was right there. He was a good friend of mine, like my brother and everything. He was right there, and he said, Pac said some shit to Big. Big said, and so what? You know what I'm saying? Pac was like, yo, now you're on the West Coast. And then Big said, and so what? You know what I'm saying? Then next thing you know, somebody do a gunplay, and the FOIs get in between to break it up. And Pac and Suge them, they get past Big them go to their limousines and everything like that. So me and Puff is left in the venue. But we hear it on the radio that there's an altercation with Bad Boy and Death Row in the parking lot. So me and Puff is running that way. So I'm like this. I'm like, damn. So as we running, we get cornered and stopped by some dudes from the Nation of Islam. It was about 6 or 7 of them. And it was just me and Puff. So this one guy, he was about Puff's size, but he was a light-skinned brother. He was trying to talk to Puff. Puff said, I can't talk to you right now, and because I got a situation outside. And the dude and them like surround us. And so Puff was like, yo, bro, I can't talk to you right now. So he was trying to impede us from going. So I'm like, yo, listen here, bro, what's this all about? What? And so now Farrakhan's son, Mustafa, who's a good friend of Puff and us, he sees it. So he comes over and he says to this brother, Puff says to Mustafa, tell this brother that, everything is cool with me and everything like that, everything good. Mustafa said, brother, just hold up, you know what I'm saying? And the dude was adamant about, trying to get at Puff, and I didn't know what it was about at the time, you know what I'm saying? So dude was like, just talking to Mustafa like that. Mustafa said, brother. And then next thing you know, the dude was still going at it. So Mustafa got in dude's chest, hard body, say, brother. And then next thing you know, a lot of other guys from the Nation of Islam came around and stuff like that. And then me and Puff left. But I could see on this dude's face something wasn't right. You understand? So me and Puff, we was walking down the corridor, and next thing you know, from afar, you could see Suge and Tupac them coming that way. So now, I'm like, damn. So I look at Puff, and Puff was on my right side at this given time. So I said, yo, bruh, but he was behind me. Yo, just take care of my family. I got this shit, right? So now, we walking. So they coming forward, now we going down this long-ass corridor, and next thing you know, you see the TV vans and all the media vans and everything. They were off to the left of me. You understand? Suge and them was coming towards the right of me and everything like that. So there's this corridor in the back, and you can actually jump down there, the little walkway. You could jump down there and be in back of the TV vans. So me and Puff was right when I said, Puff, yo, I got these dudes, man. And so then I just put my hands inside my jacket. And, I had Nina and Nene. Both of them had 15 and them big loudmouths ready to go. You understand? All I had to do was touch them. And it is what it is. At that given time, I was ready to give up my life and what I had for Puff. No doubt about it. Everybody knew that. He never got any situations, any problems with me. You understand? He was part of the same gang. I'm same gang. You understand? He was a part of that. You understand? So I was ready to, it wasn't about no bodyguard. I've always been a boss type dude. Started the same game. Was with Slick and the Family and 12th Street Posse. You understand? Played on the basketball team with that. So everybody from Harlem basically knew. And they knew when I worked with Puff and I was with Puff, he was good. Anytime we did parties or anything, I'm always going to have who? 10, 15 guys from same gang. Slick and the Family there. My dude, he home now. God bless him, Jim Ice. He was at the parties. You understand what I'm saying? I got 20, 30 guys at the parties whenever I'm doing security. Outside of security. They just my dudes like that. And they know I'm one of the head dudes in the whole clan. I started the same game with my man D. Ferg, Mike Cock, Rick Dahl, Tone Wop, Tabadoo. You understand? We started that up. We started the Bear Mountain picnics and all that stuff. Guys having fun, taking money from the streets, putting it back into the community. So now, I'm ready to give all what I have up. I'm good. You understand? Because this is my dude at the time. So I said, yo, man, just take care of my family. I got this. I'm not taking no ass whipping from no 15, no 20 guys. No, I'm not doing that. You understand? It don't make no sense, especially when I got Nene and Nay on me. Not at all. So now, Puff behind me, and next thing you know, he dips to the left, and I see him jump down into the embankment and just start running. So Suge and them is coming up. They about 40, 50 feet, a little bit long. I guess they ain't see him because, I'm a big dude. So I just played the wall, and they walked by me. They ain't know who I was. And if they did, they ain't say nothing. Because Pac was getting an award at this time. I think he was the best rapper of the year or something like that for Soul Train or something. You understand? So now, I let them walk on by. Puff is running. Now I see Puff go across the parking lot. Because I'm not jumping down in the back in the truck. I see him run across the parking lot. So as he runs across the parking lot, I just walk straight. I see him getting in the limousine. So me and my man Bond gets in the limousine because Big and them had left him. You know what I'm saying? Their team had left him. So he gets in the limousine with me and Puff. Puff was on the phone asking, yo, what happened? This, that, and that. What's going on? What's happening? What's going on? We was quiet. We go back to the mansion, the house he had rented. So Puff, me and Bun goes through the house, make sure wasn't nobody there. Puff's still in the car. He comes out, we say, you good, bruh. So he goes up, he starts going up the steps. Now I gets on the phone with Chaz Williams, who's over Black Hand. So I'm explaining the whole situation to Chaz about, what just happened at Soul Train. And Chaz says, yeah. I said, yo, man. I told this nigga Puff, I got these dudes. And he took off running. And Puff was way upstairs, and I didn't even think he heard me. Puff said, yo, Gene, who you talking to? I said, Chaz, why? He said, why you telling him I ran? I ain't run. You should have just told him I took a left. I said, you took a left? He said, I started laughing. Chaz said, what'd he say? I said, yo, Chaz. He said, I should have told you just took a left. And then Chaz started laughing and everything like that. So then that's when Puff came down the stairs. And Puff's like, yo, Gene, I got like 127 employees. All these people depend on me for their livelihood. He said, if those white folks even think or knew that I had anything to do with any kind of gunplay, they're not going to fuck with me. They're not going to spend no money with me. I'm about making money, taking care of people, and helping people take care of their families. And I said, you right. I got you on that. You understand? He said, but I'm tired of living like this. And as he was going up the steps, he said, but I'm tired of living my life like this. I'm tired of living my life like this. And he said this shit verbatim. He said, I don't give a fuck if Pac gotta die. I don't give a fuck if Big gotta die. He said, I don't give a fuck if Suge Knight gotta go to jail. I'm tired of living like my life like this, and something got to change. Now, at the time, I didn't know that that was some kind of self-fulfilling prophecy this dude was making. But what he said that particular day, all that shit came true and to life. And the shit is eerie and scary to me right now. But like I said before, I wasn't the only one that heard him say it. My man Bun heard him say the same thing. Cause Bun was like, yo, wow, that nigga said big. I said, yeah. And on everything I love, that came out of his mouth. That nigga said big.
Yo, Don, what's up? What's going on? Yo, I just wanted to let the people know that he was out there at the same time when Pac and Big had that little incident. And I just wanted to let you know where you was at the time when Big was out in California. Well, we was at it was the Soul Train Awards. My first time out in sunny Cali. First and last time. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we was out in the parking lot. Big was waiting. I guess he was waiting to either go on or he was waiting to go back to the hotel or whatever the case may be. But then Suge pulled up with Pac. They had a little entourage. Pac was screaming out of the you on the west side now? Just a whole bunch of crap trying to antagonize Big. Big standing there. Some old black woman walked up to Big and said, "Oh, it's getting ready to be on now." Big looked at her and said, "Listen, ma, I ain't no punk." One thing led to another. They got out. We had a little scuffle, a little altercation with Suge, Pac. FOI came over, broke it up, and then we got out of there. All right, so now me and you both rode back to the mansion with Puff, correct? That's right. All right, so now I was on the phone with Kaz after Puff was in the car. He was trying to talk to Big, man, on the phone, and Big kept hanging up on him and whatever. So we got back to the mansion. I was talking to Kaz, and I told Kaz how the nigga ran on me. Yeah, he slipped out on you. He said, "You have to tell him I ran. I did. Or I took a left." Yeah, correct. Right. But when Puff came downstairs and he was talking to me and telling me how many people he, take care of and everything like that, what did you hear him say, after we had our conversation? Puff was heated. Puff was heated with the whole situation. Puff was mad. Puff said, "Listen, I don't know if Pac is going to die. I don't know if Big is going to die. I don't know if that nigga Sugar's going to go to jail. But something's got to happen. I can't live like this. I can't keep living like this." Right, that came out of his mouth, correct? That's what Puff said. Now, what did you say after Puff walked up the stairs and said that shit? Wow. That nigga said big. You remember that? You said, yeah. Wow, that nigga said big. Yep. Yeah, and that's all I want to know. And today, to see that shit come into fruition, didn't that fuck you up too? Well, you know what they say. The word of mouth is strong, though. Once you put something out in the air, once you let it go out your mouth, you can't control what happens. So sometimes it's best to just not say nothing. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to put that out there. I was thinking, because everybody thinks that I made that shit up, that, because it came true. It's crazy to me after all these years that something like that will come into fruition. And like my man always told me, that was some self-serving prophecy. If he said it out of his mouth, some self-serving prophecy, he said, and shit, it is what it is. He put that in the universe. But I hate that. But anyway, thanks, man. I appreciate it, bro. No problem, though. Talk at time. I appreciate it.
Going back to the Winnebago, we at the second Soul Train Award, I'm sitting here in the Winnebago with Big. Do I tell him anything about what Puff said or what Puff did? Puff could have went to the meeting, prior to Tupac getting killed, or he could have sent some kind of representative. You understand? People don't know this. Pac didn't do that song Hit 'Em Up because Pac wanted to do Hit 'Em Up. Pac did Hit 'Em Up because Pac was told to do Hit 'Em Up. That meeting that they had, see, some people know this who's in tune with the shit that was happening in New York with Death Row, with the California thing. See, Death Row was finna start Death Row East Coast. And that was going to be headed by Eric B. And I'm going to say the dude named BD. You understand? Serious man, serious brother. He's a gentleman, but he's about his business. He ain't playing them games. He was going to be over Death Row East Coast with Eric B. They was getting tired of Pac talking about New York dudes and New York niggas and shit like that. And they had that meeting because Suge was there. Suge was not even on the East Coast, at the West Coast at the time. He was on the East Coast having this meeting with those cats about the Death Row East Coast thing. So then they called back out to the West Coast and had Pac do Hit 'Em Up, and Pac was supposed to address everybody he was talking to. Because how you gonna have Death Row East Coast and you talking about they're stationed in New York, and you talk about New York niggas ain't this, ain't that, New York niggas is this way and stuff like that. So Pac was told to address everybody that he was talking to and talking about. That's how Hit 'Em Up came about. You understand? So people who don't think that meeting took place, it took place because that night they was at the Mirage. You understand? When Pac got the message to do Hit 'Em Up, Suge Knight, Zip, Eric B, all the rest of those guys, BD, Black Hands, all those people, they was at the Mirage partying. Puff get a phone call while we in LA. He called Zip. He said, yo, Zip, I heard y'all out there partying with Suge them and everything like that. Zip was like, I can hear Unc like, yo, what? Because I'm right there next to him. You can hear it from what? And Unc just hung up the phone on the nigga. You're like, you don't tell me what to do. And I told Uncle, I said, Uncle, I was right there when you hung up on the nigga when he was asking y'all, talking about y'all making him look bad. You understand? So, you know, that could have been avoided if Puff wanted to. Even before the Hit 'Em Up shit came about. The Hit 'Em Up shit came about to stop, you know, Pac from talking about just all New York niggas and address the people. If you listen to the music, he addressed everybody he was talking about, and all that whole New York shit stopped. So me and Big talked about that. You understand? And Big said adamantly, yo, the next nigga to say my name out their mouth, I'ma tear their ass up. You understand? I got some shit for him. Because he wouldn't say nothing because Puff was holding him back from saying it. Big never really addressed none of that bullshit, you know, because, you know, Puff was holding him back for that. You know, because everybody know he had some shit. He had some shit. He wanted to represent Brooklyn to the fullest. So now, we in the Winnebago, you know, Big was telling me, yo, I said, man, I know that fucked you up with the Pac shit, you know what I'm saying? When he died, he was like, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Me and Lil C's got so motherfucking fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I let Lil C's drive. Lil C's don't even drive. You know what I'm saying? And that's how, you know, Big went through the window of the car. You know, so he almost went through the window of the car when they had that accident. You understand? And Big couldn't hardly get around while we was out in Cali. Because I don't know what you call both of his thigh bones was either fractured or broken at one time. You understand? So it was crutches and stuff like that for Big. You know, like the cane and everything like that. You know, Big, it was hard for Big to get around. So he wasn't going to nowhere. He wasn't going to no parties and nothing like that. You understand? He addressed that whole thing. And with the thing with Pac, I was like, yo, well, dog, that was your man. He was like, yeah, man, but like I had said before, you understand? Pac, if I would have told Pac about those dudes, you know, that he was running with, he would have told them, then I would have had the problem. And I just want to do my music. All right, cool. We understand that. You understand? And he said, Pac thought I had money that I didn't have. So when Jasmine Guy and Will Smith wife Jada Pinkett, when they was, trying to, get money up for, Pac bail and everything like that, they couldn't, Big ain't have nothing to give them. And I guess, somebody claiming I'm king of New York, or, guys use that slang and stuff like that, and you don't have no money to come up with, dude, your man's them bail and everything like that, they gonna sit back and, behind bars and think shit. So we in the Winnebago, and I'm saying to myself, so do I tell this kid that this nigga Puff wished death on him? But Puff is my man. Do I say that? I couldn't do that because I knew Big was going to say something to Puff. Because he did it when D-Rock told him I blew an L with him. You understand? He said, oh yeah, Gene blew an L. And that's when I told Puff, oh yeah, but you wrote Lil' Kim shit, right? It is what it is. So now, me and Big, he was giving me my props and everything like that. How how he noticed how I am around Puff and everything like that. Like I'm, no game. What he ain't understand is that I was just always been that serious dude. I understand the rules to this whole game. You understand? I'm not no bodyguard. It's no bodyguard. You understand? Even though I got potential, even though I know the rules, I know what to do and how to do things. You know what I'm saying? So, I protected him like I was his big uncle. You know what I'm saying? Nobody could infiltrate that at no given time. Whatever Puff told me, I did. You understand? Even with the fact that, when Puff used to give his parties and everything like that, I used to be the one that Russell Simmons would be at the door. Puff would already tell me, yo, don't let Russell, if Russell ain't dressed right. And he knew Russell was coming in jeans and sneakers. Puff would be telling me, yo, if Russell don't dress right, don't let him in. If Chris Lighting and the other dude, what's that dude he hit in the head with the bottle? He used to always be with Chris Lighting all the time. Slips my mind. If they don't, when they come, let them leave them outside, Gene, and come and get me. And they used to be fire. They used to be mad, the motherfucker. But that's the type of dude I was. Jesus Christ had to come down and take the breath out of my body, if I would have allowed anything or anybody to go against what Puff was saying. So, I didn't have that relationship with Big where I was going to say anything about Puff to him at the time. You understand? And here this kid, yeah, he was pouring his heart out to me. And I know he had love for me because when we took that picture, me and him and Puff, and I didn't know I was even in it. When we was at the Soul Train Awards, that nigga looked at me, and when he said this out of his mouth, I knew he had love for me. He said, nigga, you look like you from Brooklyn now. Yeah, that shit is nice. I had the black and white Stetsons on, the black suit with the black and white Versace tie. You understand? Killing with the Versace glasses. He was like, yo, nigga, you look like you was from Brooklyn. So I knew at that time, Big had a lot of love for me. You know what I'm saying? And what I did. So I asked him, I said, yo, Big, can I get in the Hypnotized video? He said, yeah, man, you can get in that shit. Yeah, why not? I said, all right, cool. So they was running late with shooting the Hypnotized video, and I know I had to get on that red eye. So I didn't make the video shoot, so I went to New York for a couple of days. I went back to New York for a couple of days. So I get back into New York, and I stay for like 2 days, and on the third day, I'm on the red eye coming back to Cali. So now we get back out there, Mace, all of them is out at Cali. Stevie J, Groovy Lou, everybody's in Cali. So I see Mace and Stevie J at the across the street from the House of Blues, it was this club. I mean, this hotel. I don't know if it was it the Bellagio? Well, no, it wasn't the Bellagio. It's a hotel right across the street from the White House of Blues. It's all white. The name escapes me right now, but fucking Stevie J and Mace and some other cat pull up in a drop top Mercedes. I pull Mace to the side. I say, my man, do you know where the fuck you at? I say, you in California. You a meal ticket to some of these cats. You driving around in a drop top Mercedes, nigga, they'll peel your head to the white meat. The fuck is wrong with you? Then May said to me, yo, you know, I kind of thought that, man, but Stevie J said his man that was right here was real strong and we was good. I said, yeah, man, you ain't good. You from Harlem, man, you supposed to know better. You know what I'm saying? He said he had told me, yo, Gene, I went to this basketball game and it was some like kind of some radio pep rallies type of thing. And they was telling me how much they hated Big, they hated Puff. Shit was crazy. So now, me and Puff is back at it. We going to a party at the House of Blues. And when we get up into the party, you know, I see Chaz and them from Black Hands. So, you know, Puff went up to him like, and you like, he going like he's shadow boxing everything, and he caught Chaz with one. Chaz looked at him and he did like a quick jab, pop, to the sternum, and you could see Puff just lose his breath. And I was dying. And so niggas is looking at me like I supposed to do something. I was like, nigga, shit, he should have never swung on him. We should have never hit him. You know what I'm saying? Chaz knocked the fucking wind out of him. I was dying. You understand? You know, I work for Chaz too. I used to run Black Hand Security, and you know, like him and Puff's birthday on the same day and shit. So they knew each other good. So you know, guys who was around didn't know their relationship, but I knew their relationship. So when niggas try to like, you know, Puff little friends or people was, you know, trying to, you know, rear up, Chaz had a mob right there. I had to intervene, like, yo, man, get out. They family. You know what I'm saying? Boom, and that was it. So we watched. I don't know. I think it was LL perform, you understand? L gave an incredible show and shit like that, but Big and them wasn't there. You know, none of the times we went to any place, I never saw Big, but I always saw Puff on the phone with him after we went to one of those places. Yo, man, I thought you was coming. Was you in the studio? And Big would be like, yo, nah, or yeah, or whatever like that. He said, man, you messing up my studio time. You understand? You know, you messing up my money like that. You know, you got to be in the studio. You know, so Big album was finished, and I guess he was working on Puff album or whatever at the time, because Big shit was finished. So now we going someplace else the next day, and Puff is always calling his kid, talking about, yo, you going? So now he said, all right, I want you to go to this vibe party. The vibe party comes up. And Big was like, I'm not going to be here for that. You know, Big was telling me he wasn't going to be there because he was supposed to go to London. So now I hear Puff get on the phone with Kirk Burroughs. Kirk Burroughs was the president of Bad Boy at the time. He the one, and this is way back when we was doing, and niggas don't know this, you know, that from day one before all the other security, all the other bodyguards, nigga, we was doing the red zone and the building, unsigned hype and everything like that. You know, Puff went through the same gang shit about 91 or 92. You understand? So about when he was with Uptown Records, he used to do unsigned hype over at a club called The Building. You understand what I'm saying? I was with Puff then. I was with Puff on Wednesday night at the Red Zone, way before anybody. Me and him used to take the money to Kirk Burroughs. You understand? So now, he called Kirk Burroughs, chewed Kirk Burroughs the fuck out and tell him, yo, Big ain't going nowhere. You understand? Big ain't going nowhere. I said, damn, this nigga, you know, cussed him the fuck out. Ain't that Big? You know, I'm thinking, Ain't that big choice whether he going there or not? He told him to kill it. Don't pay for him. Don't do none of it. Don't fly him. Don't do none of that shit. He not going to London. So when I hear people say, "Oh, Big supposed to been in London and Big stopped that and stuff," no, Big ain't stopped none of that. Because London was going to give him 25 G's or something like that for going over there. I don't know why. I can't tell you why right now. You understand? Other than I know for a fact that Puff stopped him from going to London and kept him in Cali and kept trying to get him to the, listen here, you going to this party, man? And I don't think Big had no interest in going in the parties. And I say this and prove me wrong. Show me a picture other than that vibe party that Big went to. Ask his crew, ask Lil C's, how many parties y'all went to when y'all was in Cali? So now, I go to, I call Kirk Burrows again. I like, yo, Kirk. And I'm speaking with him about the security shit out here. And I told him Arista is calling me for, Social Security numbers and everything like that so they could pay me and everything like that. So I said, yo, Kirk, why ain't no fucking security out here, bruh? Again, Gene, nothing I could do. Puff ain't paying for no more security. That was basically it. You understand? So now, we getting ready to go to this vibe party. And I get an eerie feeling that whole day. You understand? Just the night before, I had a day off where Puff just told me to chill. I can do whatever I want to do. And I'm at the Beverly Hills Hotel just chilling, ordering whatever I wanted to order, doing whatever I wanted to do. Had some friends come over. And this dude, I get a phone call in the middle of the night. And I was like, what? He said, yo, Mace is trapped up in the Century Club. Niggas won't let him come out. I'm like, what? Yeah, Mace is trapped. I ain't getting paid for Mace. All I have to worry about is Puff. So next thing you know, I get a call from Puff and Paul and say, yo, Gene, go to Mace over Century Club and get Mace out of there. So I take the limo driver taking me over to the Century Club. I load up Nene and Nene. And I go outside the Century Club. So Mace is coming down. Now, I say, tell Mace when you get ready to leave, come downstairs. So whoever, they called on the cell phone. Mace is coming down the steps. I'm at the door. I say, what the fuck is going on? He said, no, everything good, everything good, Gene. I said, motherfucker, if everything good, I wouldn't be here. You understand? Mace went back, Mace got them in their cars and they left. So I go back, enjoy my day, and next day I hear we going to the vibe party. Now, when I first went out to Cali, or this particular trip we was going out to Cali, we wasn't supposed to be partying doing that. That's what I was told. You know what I'm saying? No party, we just gonna do studio time, do Soul Train, and that was it. It was the opposite. It was a whole different story for me and the dude Puff. Like I said, we was going everywhere, and everywhere he went, he was calling Big out to come out. Big would never show up. So this one particular day, he shows up. We're at Andre Harrell's house. You understand? So now, I get a call from my man, Jay. He used to run with Jodeci, Dalvin and Devontae, the younger brother, a good friend of his. Jay was from somewhere in North Carolina with them and stuff like that, but he was a big dude. He was a good dude out there. Cali had a lot of people, a lot of friends out there. You know what I'm saying? He used to hold, Devontae and them down. So now, me and him chop it up and everything like that. So he said, I get a call from him that day. He said, yo, I don't think y'all should go nowhere, man. I think it's going to be real ugly tonight. I like, yeah. I said, yeah, all right. I had already got a call from Unique telling me to vest up. You understand? Which I called Kirk Burroughs and I told him about that. So now I'm feeling a certain way, because I just had this like, the fuck is we going to this vibe party? And it's the last night we're supposed to be in California. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's good right now. None of us are touched. Everybody can go home safe. We could chill right here. Andre Harrell got the pool in there, the whole 9 yards. What the fuck is we going to this vibe party for? So I'm sitting at the table. He had this big wooden table. And this is like 15, 16 guys. They talking, going back and forth. So I get on the phone with my man, Slick, from Slick and the Family. It's my brother. I said, yo, I got this feeling, man, you know what I'm saying? The shit is about to go down tonight. He said, yeah. You know what I'm saying? They was in the game room because I was calling the payphone right there on 112th and 8th Avenue. You understand? So now, Slick comes to the phone and I said, yo, man, I got this eerie feeling, man, that this shit is about to go down tonight. I done got too many warnings and everything like that, man. And he says to me, he said, yo, all I know, man, if something happened to you, that nigga can't come back to New York like that. I got something for his ass. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah. He said, but listen, if you feel that way, don't go. Fuck him. I said, nah, I ain't gonna leave him out like that, bro. I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna talk to this nigga Puff first. So I made that phone call from Andre Harrell's phone. You understand? I made it from his house phone. So I hung up the phone and I went toward, I said, yo, Paul, where Puff at? Puff is upstairs. I was at the bottom of the stairs and I said, yo, Puff. I said, yo, Puff. He was upstairs with Kim. You know what I'm saying? So Puff came to the top of the steps. She's sitting in this white robe and everything like that. I said, yo, Puff, I got too many warnings, man, that niggas is coming to get us tonight. That nigga said out of his mouth, yo, Gene, I don't want to hear that shit. If you don't want to go, you ain't got to go. But I don't want to hear that shit. I said, yo, Puff, I got some good intel, bro. This shit is serious. He said, you ain't got to go? I said, yeah, all right then, man. So I went back to the table and I sat down. So these niggas is laughing and joking and everything like that. So I got this fucking feeling. I just hit the fucking table. I said, boom, boom, boom. And niggas looked at me, was like, yo, Gene, what the fuck is wrong? I said, niggas, I'm telling this nigga that niggas is coming to get us tonight and niggas ain't paying attention to this shit. And the dude, D.Mac, who used to, run with us, and he's a Crip out there, he said, yo, bro, we lock and load together. We lock and load together. I said, I don't see none of you niggas locking. I don't see none of you niggas loading. Fuck is y'all talking about? Got up from the table and walks outside. When I walk outside, who do I walk into? It's Big sitting in the car, C's behind him. D-Rock and Tone is fucking with a little basketball goal and they had some kind of Nerf ball that is just fucking around with it. So when I seen them niggas, the first thing came out my mouth was like, yo, Big, these niggas is coming to get us, dog. Just like that. And Lil C said out of his mouth, yo, Gene, go ahead with that old cop shit. You think you know everything. Fuck out of here with that. And then I said, I know one thing, you better get you a GED. You know what that is, Lil C? That's a good enough degree so they don't cheat you out your money like they did your man over here. And then Big said right out of his mouth, yo, Gene, go ahead on with that bullshit before I have Tone and D-Rock hold you while Lil C's get his shit off. I said, yeah? I said, all that shit sound good. It may make you feel good, but it won't be healthy.
It's gutter music.
M.reck, gutter music.
He the type of nigga that's just too smart for his own good.
East New
A
York.
shiesty ass nigga.
Get him.
You in the presence of a boss, can't you tell how I walk? I'm talking that money talk, money the motivation. I'm caking niggas is hating if niggas ain't talking money. We speaking different language. You in the presence of a boss, can't you tell how I talk? Diddy by what I walk, stay on my grocery 24/7, a nigga grind. Chasing them dollar signs, I'm focused on getting mine.
I need that 8-figure money, next level shit. Gotta keep the metal grip. Sports car, yellow whip. Posted on the ghetto strip. Looking like I'm damn rich. Taking Instagram pics with 100 bands, bitch. I switch things to the opposite way. It's the map that the strippers and the groupies pay. Yeah, bands make her dance. You can't juice this J. My government name's Jermaine. I can't complain. Seen hoes run game on dudes that's dumb lame. Have them blow racks and leave them with chump change. Find exotic chicks that's thick in the thighs. They get tricks for their bread and leave them victimized. Some chicks is very fine. They get you for every dime. You risking your damn freedom doing that petty crime. Tossing your dirty cash, watching them pole climb. Won't credit you trick dudes, you gets no cosign.
You in the presence of a boss, can't you tell how I walk? I'm talking that money talk, money the motivation. I'm caking niggas is hating if niggas ain't talking money. We speaking different language. You in the presence of a boss, can't you tell how I talk? Diddy by what I walk, stay on my grocery 24/7, a nigga grind. Chasing them dollar signs, I'm focused on getting mine.
Log on to mrecktv.com. Log on to mrecktv.com to get all your featured collection items, Paperchaser shirts, m.reck TV snapbacks, and also m.reck TV play button shirts, and many more. Log on to mrecktv.com, m.reck TV.store.com. Yeah, it's m.reck, you know I'm on my New York shit. But it's that motivation when you paper chasing the grip and got the best product out and you killing the strip. I taught the money gymnastics, I'm making it flip. Hit the block hard, yes, early morning on the wake up. Betty Crocker cook skills, help me get my cake up. A nigga gotta hustle cash, get up out the struggle fast. What you know about bus trips with the duffel bags, get the dope quick. Oh yeah, subscribe to m.reck TV, youtube.com/mrecktv. I'm gone.
M.reck TV.
It's gutter music.